Okay, this is a new chapter. We're jumping all the way over to chapter 12. The way that it's set up, they wanted you to make sure you took care of statistics first. And I know when you hear the word statistics, you think it's something that's out of your reach, but really, this chapter is really what I've been trying to prepare most of you for. I know some of you still have what I would call childish tendencies in terms of being responsible and making sure you study, but it's about time that you start learning to just pretty much pay attention to what's going on and start taking it seriously, because you're going to become juniors next year, and it's time for you to start actually handling that like juniors. So the hardest part about this chapter is going to be the vocabulary and some of the processes that you're going to have to attach to the vocabulary. So it's not that you cannot do these processes. It's more just if you don't understand what the words mean, then you won't understand what the process is, and then you won't be able to do what they ask you to do. So one thing they're going to talk about is frequency and histograms in this. So thinking about the word frequency, they usually say, how frequently do you cut your grass? How frequently do you visit the doctor? How frequently do you check your Facebook status? There are different frequencies in all those. For example, people don't typically cut their grass but maybe once a week. So you'd say once every 7 days or so. How frequently do you visit the doctor? Definitely not once every 7 days unless something's wrong. That's usually once every 6 months. For some people, it's once a year. For some people like me, it's once every 10 years. But whatever it is, that is also a frequency. How frequently do you check your Facebook status? For some people, it's every 10 minutes. For some people, it's every 10 days. For some people, it's every hour. Whatever it is, the frequency is how often something happens. So again, you don't need to write that, but the word frequent, and there's different ideas for frequency, but in this unit, it's going to be based off of how many times something happens. And so what we're going to be asked to do is make a frequency table and a histogram in this lesson. And so there's some words that we have to know, so please write these words down so you know what they are, because again, this is the vocabulary that you're going to have to understand. When I say range, you have to understand that the range is looking at the lowest and highest values in a set. When I say frequency, you have to understand we're talking about how many times something occurs, and you also have to understand that a histogram is just the graph of a frequency table. So when you see histogram, it's just pretty much what the graph would look like of the frequency table itself. So there's really nothing major about this lesson. Again, it's just, are you going to take the vocabulary seriously? Are you going to study enough to kind of get the idea? Or are you just going to continue to allow yourself to miss very easy questions that are within your reach? So like I said, we've got to definitely earn our points in this semester. So I hope that you are on the part where you're ready to go ahead and earn it. Problem 1 says the number of home runs by batters in a home run derby are listed below it once a frequency table that represents the data. So what I would do first is I would more than likely put the numbers in order, because I don't want to go around looking for things like this. And so I look and see there's no zeros, no ones. I see a 2 and I cross it off. A 3, cross it off. A 4, a 5, no 6. I see 1, 2, 3 7s. Cross all those off so I know I wrote those down. There's no 8. There is a 9. Cross that off. There's a 10. Cross that off. I don't see an 11. I do see 2 12s. Write that twice. 13 no. 14 no. Oh yeah, 14 is here. So 14 gets written. 15. And it looks like the last number here is 17. And so looking at the list, just make a quick check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the fact that my number of data values here matches the number of values up there means that I do have an official table. So what that does for me is it gives me my range. My range of numbers is from 2 to 17. And what you usually do with a frequency table is you don't write every single number. That would be a lot of things to chart. What they do is they do it in ranges. And it's not overall ranges, but in terms of ranges of what's going on. So let's say that we want to do this in 4 groups or 5 groups. So what we can do is we can separate it into range from 0 to 4, counting 4 at a time. So then from 5 to 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from 5 to 8. And you can go 9, 10, 11, 12. So 9 to 12. You could go 13, 14, 15, 16. So again, a range of about 4. and then 17 to 20. And that is pretty much what they do. A histogram doesn't just go how many ones, how many twos, how many threes. What it does is it says how many numbers are in the 0 to 4 range, how many in the 5 to 8 range. Now you've got to make sure that every range is the same size. You could have also done 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 7 to 15, 16 to 20. If you really want to work, you could even go 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 15, and 16 to 18. Any of those work. Whatever it is in statistics, the thing that makes statistics tough is the fact that you have to kind of make the choice on what you want to do. We are going to stick with this one here because I like having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments instead of just 4 or going all the way up to 6. So here's what you do. You make your table and you put the range and you put the frequency. FREQ would be frequency. So again, listing your range 0 to 4. There are, and this is how simple it is, just count how many values there are from 0 to 4. 1, 2, 3. So the frequency on that is 3. Your next range is from 5 to 8. So you simply count how many things are there from 5 to 8. Well, 5 to 8, there's a 5. 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 things there within 5 to 8. Your third range is 9 to 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Your fourth range is 13 to 16. That would be 1, 2 there. And then your last range is 17 to 20, which is just 1 there. So again, notice there should be 3 things between 0 and 4. Here's the 3 things there. There should be 4 things from 5 to 8. There's that one there. 4 things from 9 to 12. There's that. 2 things from 13 to 16. And 1 item 17 to 20. And that's what a frequency table is. It's just a table showing the frequency of things that happen within that range. Again, it's not tough to do. You just have to make sure you understand what the words mean and what they're asking you to do. The hardest thing is just going to be making sure you remember how to set this table up. So you might even want to go ahead and make a quick sketch of this just so you know what it looks like. But other than that, like I said, as long as you understand the general idea, it shouldn't be that bad. The second question is going to ask us to make a histogram for the table. And here is how this works. You simply make one of those tables like this. This is your range. And this is your frequency. And again, it's a table for that, for you to see what's going on. And what you do is you use each range as a mark. So you have a mark here for 0 to 4. You have another mark here for 8, another mark here for 12, another mark here for 16, another mark here for 20. Notice I was counting by 4s, and so I counted by 4s down here. And your frequency itself is marked 1, 2, we need to go up to 4, 3, 4. And all you have to do for 0 to 4, which is a range of numbers, notice that there are 3 of them, is for 0 to 4, go up to 3, and create a rectangle. This is 0 to 4, and 0 to 4 has 3 items in it. You see it? 0 to 4. I guess I can put a 0 here. From 0 to 4 has 3 items in it altogether. From 5 to 8 has 4 items. So this is your 5 to 8. And so you go up and across. And again, you make a rectangle based off of this range that goes up to 4. So what this means is from here to here, which again is higher than 4 going up to 8, goes up to 4. And again, that's because 5 to 8 has 4 pieces. And so you go up to 4 in the range up to 8. Notice 9 to 12 has 4 pieces. So guess what? We go up to 12 and we say 9 to 12. So that's in between 8 and 12. Also has 4 pieces. 13 to 16 has 2 pieces. So you go 13 to 16, which is here. Your 2 would be around here. And again, you make another rectangle for that. And then 17 to 20 has 1 piece. So you go based off of 1. Right there, and that is it. So again, notice if I was reading this, I could say 0 to 4, this range has 3 pieces, which is what this says. Notice I can say the range from 4 to 8, which is really 5 to 8, but either way, it's the next range that you have there is up to 4, so there should be 4 things in 5 to 8. 9 through 12, which again is this range, has 4 up to it, so that means that there are 4 there. 12 to 16 or 13 to 16 has what looks to be 2, which is also listed here, and then 16 through 20 is the lowest, which has 1, and that's what a histogram is. So again, frequency table is just a table showing all the frequencies. Histogram is the graph of the actual frequency table. Alright. What they are going to do on the test is they are simply going to give you some numbers and say create a histogram. Well, knowing that a histogram is a graph of a frequency table, it means that we actually have to make a frequency table first. So what we're going to do is, again, put these numbers in order. I see a 0, a 1, no 2, no, well, I do have a 3, 4, 2 5s, I see a 6, a 7, a 8, no 9, I do see a 10, I see an 11, no 12, 13 here, I see 2 14s, cross both of those out, 15, actually cross that 13 out that I wrote, 13, I think there's only one number that I haven't used, which is 22. So let's do a quick count. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 numbers. And again, you also see your range is from 0 to 22. So if I want about 4 sections, I would probably count through 5s in this case. So I'd go 0 to 5, 5 to 10, or sorry, 6 to 10, 11 to whatever. So that's probably what my range is going to be. So I'm going to do range here and frequency here. Again, drawing that out, my range again is going to go by 5. So 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, which again, notice covers all the numbers I have, and it gives me a decent range of things to work with. And again, here's how you do it. 0 to 5 means count all the way up to 5. There's your break right there. That is all the numbers from 0 to 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things in that range. So it happens, frequency of that is 6 times in that range. 6 to 10, the numbers from 6 to 10 are right here. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 things in that range. 11 to 15 goes there, stops there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of those things. 16 to 20, there's nothing at all, because there are no numbers from 16 to 20, and there's only one thing that is between 21 and 25. And so again, this is not your histogram yet, that's the frequency table, but we need the frequency table to make the histogram. And so that is where we again put range here and frequency over here. Our highest number in frequency is 6, so let's number up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in terms of our range, we're counting by 5, so we just got to put 5 all the way up to 25, 10, 15, 20, 25. And again, all we have to do now is go 0 to 5, which is this first rectangle, and we need it up to be up to 6. So we have 0 to 5 going all the way up to 6. 6 to 10 goes up to 4, so we find where 4 is at, and we make that rectangle go up to about where 4 is at. 11 to 15 is at 4 also, so we can just keep going straight across. Here's my next range and my next rectangle. 16 to 20 has none, so leave that blank. And then 20 to 25 has 1, so we will draw a rectangle that goes up to about 1. And again, you can look here and see 0 to 5 has 6 items. 5 to 10 or 6 to 10 has 4 items. 10 to 15 has 4 items. This has none, and that has 1. And that is a histogram. Alright? The last thing they're going to ask you to do, it's actually not a cumulative histogram, it's a cumulative frequency table. So what you're going to write is that a cumulative frequency table keeps track of how many data values have reached a certain point. So it's not a cumulative histogram. I messed up on my notes there. So go ahead and write those two things for yourself, because cumulative just means keeping track of what was already done before we work this out. And a cumulative frequency table again just means add how many are there to what's already there. And again, once you see what the word cumulative means, how it means keep track of how many have already reached that point, then you'll understand what's going on with this. This is going to be a little bit more work, but I think we can still do it. Here we have the lowest number is not in the 10s or the 20s, actually it is in the 20s. I think looks here like the lowest number is 28. 29. I don't see any other 20s in this. Don't see 30. 31. 32. The hardest part to statistics, by the way, is this part. 32. No. 33. There is none. 34. 35. Nope. 36. I believe I saw at least one 36. I think that was it. Cross that out. 37 I saw somewhere. I think it was just one of those. And then 38 and 38, so two 38s. Both of those get crossed out so I don't lose them, and I know I dealt with them both. And I don't think there's any more 20s or 30s in this list. Now we're in the 40s. In order, the lowest 40 seems to be 42, I think. Then, let's see, let me underline all my 40s. So here, 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 here. The lowest one is, after that, 46. Then 47. Then two 49s. And again, this is really the hardest part to statistics, is just getting all your data gathered. And from what I see, that's everything up to there. Now we're in the 50s. Of course, there is a 50 right here. And I'm going to underline every other 50 that I have so I can see it and make it stand out to myself. The lowest after that looks to be 51. Cross that out. 52. Cross that out. Looks like 55. Cross that one out. And 56. Cross that one out. And I don't think there's any more 50s. Nope. 60s are next. All my 60s. Here's one. All those are gone. Here's another one. So 62 and 68. Cross both of those out. Now we're in the 70s, which is 71 and 72. Cross you, cross you. I think that's everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So our numbers work. And I think what we'll do here is we'll go in tens, because it seems to me if we just counted 20 up to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and so on. So in terms of our cumulative frequency table, here's what we're going to do. Here we have the range, which we're going to talk about, which we already know about. We have the frequency, which is still the same. But then we have the cumulative frequency, which is really what they're asking for in this table. So our range, we don't need 0 through whatever because we know it starts at 20. So we got 20 to 29, right? And then 30 to 39, and then 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, and 70 to 79 is my range. And here's how you do your cumulative frequency. First off, how many things happen between 20 and 29? That's right here. There are 2 of them. And cumulative frequency says how many data points have we identified so far? We've just identified 2. Now this is the only difference between cumulative frequency and frequency. When we count 30 to 39, which is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in that, cumulative frequency says how many things have reached this point. Well, you take 5 plus the 2, which means we now have 7 things altogether that have been dealt with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's cumulative frequency. How many data pieces have we dealt with? When we go 40 to 49, same thing. Count your parts just like we did before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of those. But the cumulative frequency says how many have we used altogether. Just add that 5 to 7, and it means that we've used 12 things. And again, you can look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces. 50 to 59 starts here, ends there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces even there. I need to make sure that's lined up. So again, cumulative frequency says if I had 12 and I added 5 more, that's 17. 60 to 69 is this piece right here. There's 2 more parts there, making it 19 pieces altogether. And then 70 to 79 is 2 more parts, which makes 21. Notice how this kind of counts up to what we have. We only had 2 pieces of the first range. We had 7 pieces altogether in the second range, 12 in the third, 17, then 19, then 21. That's what a cumulative frequency table is. You won't be asked to do this on a test, but it's just good for you to understand what the difference is between a frequency table, which is this, and then a cumulative frequency table, which just says this would be 2, this would be 2 plus 5, this is 2 plus 5 plus 5, 2 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, and so on whenever that happens. Okay, so here's the thing. You need to now go to Math Excel. You need to log on to the Monday assignment, which is there, and you have to get a 100% on this. Now, a lot of your grades are decent now because I've given you 100% in the computer, but the thing about the rest of this quarter and the semester is if you do not get 100% on the Math Excel, then whatever grade you get goes in the book and it's going to pull you down, and this is where some of you are going to have major issues. So make sure you are working on your Math Excel after this and that you are working to get 100. If you get 100, your grade stays about where it's at, but if you allow yourself to stare at one problem for 20 minutes and not ask for help from anybody, including me or another student, then that's going to be an issue. You also have to turn in whatever work you have. That way you can get credit for it. That's part of your participation. So don't just go to Math Excel and just click buttons. You need to make sure you're working them out on a sheet of paper. Now, I only give you about 4 to 6 questions on Math Excel, and then if you finish that, come and get the last worksheet from me, which is just extra practice, which we'll talk about before we leave. But other than that, I don't think that this unit is that tough. I think it's just going to be a question of, do you really care about learning it, or are you just trying to cruise right through it? If you're trying to cruise, it's going to be a bad unit, and you're probably going to have a D to a F by the end of it. So please make sure you come into work and that you do your job. I am working as hard as I can to present it. You have to work as hard as you can to learn it. But other than that, good luck. Again, go to Math Excel and work for that 100. Again, you have until March 3rd for this to be 100, but you need to make sure you are getting your answers now because I have to put the grades in the book as you do them. Good luck.